Yo, dodging a punch is something we've all wanted to learn, right? Like, being able to react in a few milliseconds to avoid getting your shit rocked sounds pretty fucking amazing. But what if I told you it's something we can actually learn? In this video, we're breaking down the real science behind dodging a punch. Just don't blame me if you still can't do it after watching. The basics. It's all about reflexes. Alright, first things first. Reflexes. And I'm not talking about the basic shit like pulling your hand away from a hot stove or when the doctor hits your knee with that little hammer. Nah, there are way more complex reflexes that activate entire muscle sequences without you even thinking about it. We're born with some of these, but the crazy part is we actually can train them too. The reflex that lets you dodge a punch involves some seriously sophisticated sensory integration, where your vision, spatial prediction, and muscle movement all combine in fractions of a second. It's wild. What actually happens when someone swings at you? So, when someone launches a punch at your face, everything starts in your eyes, specifically in these movement-sensitive cells in your retina. These cells don't give a fuck about details, bro. They're just focused on detecting rapid changes in your environment. They catch that something is approaching and send the information through your optic nerve, straight to your primary visual cortex. In less than 120 milliseconds, you already know something's moving. And just for context, it takes you about 400 milliseconds just to read the word milliseconds. So yeah, your brain is moving fast as hell. Your brain is literally predicting the future. But here's where it gets even crazier. Your brain doesn't just react to movement, it predicts it. In your parietal lobe, there are neurons capable of anticipating trajectories. This means that while the punch is still on its way, you're already generating a hypothesis about where it's going and how fast it's going to get there. This predictive mechanism is what allows professional fighters to get ahead of the movement before it even fully happens. They're not seeing the punch itself, they're reading the intention. It's literally like observation haki from anime. No bullshit. Your body's alarm system kicks in. Your amygdala activates, not because of fear, but as an alarm center evaluating the threat level. That signal communicates with your motor cortex and with deep nuclei like the cerebellum, which fine-tune your muscular response. At this point, you haven't made a conscious decision, but your body's already preparing to move, and that shit is crazy to me. From your primary motor cortex, an order gets sent to the muscles involved in dodging: your neck, shoulders, trunk, and arms. The total time from when you see the stimulus to when your body executes the movement is usually between 250 to 300 milliseconds. But high-performance athletes can respond in less than 150. That reduction happens thanks to repeated training that strengthens the connection between sensory and motor areas, especially through the cerebellum, because they're reinforcing those cables that connect vision to movement, making them twice as fast in this situation. The emergency shortcut your body has. Here's something most people don't know. Not every motor response has to go through your brain. In extreme cases like an immediate threat, your body can activate what's called a spinal reflex. In this case, the signal travels directly from your spinal cord to the muscle without reaching the brain. It's an evolutionary shortcut that prioritizes speed over precision. This mechanism exists precisely for emergencies, where one more second could make all the difference between getting hit and not getting hit. It's not about strength, it's about coordination. Another interesting fact: the best dodgers aren't necessarily the strongest. Studies in disciplines like boxing or judo have shown that the lowest reaction times are usually found in those with better sensory-motor coordination, not those with greater muscle mass. In other words, dodging well isn't about strength, it's about refined neuromuscular connection. You could be jacked as fuck and still get hit by a skinny dude who's just very coordinated. How to actually improve your reflexes? So how do you improve your reflexes? By training three things. First, visual perception. Exercises like tracking balls thrown in different directions or using reactive light boards can help you detect faster movements even in your peripheral vision. Second, neuromuscular coordination. Repeating simple dodges in front of a mirror, practicing with a partner who throws soft punches, or using ropes that hang and move randomly forces you to integrate sight, decision, and movement together. Third, reaction time. Using reflex apps, games with auditory stimuli, or even unexpected visual signals. The more times you connect eye-brain muscle, the more efficient the circuit becomes. You don't react faster by magic, you simply reduce the steps between seeing, processing, and moving. What makes you fail? And of course, there are factors that can make you fail: fatigue, alcohol, chronic stress, or even overthinking. Your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for rational thought, sometimes interferes instead of helps. You hesitate for 1 second and it's already too late. The real answer. But at the end of the day, the best way to dodge a punch is to not be where it's gonna land. But if you can't avoid it, make sure your brain has slept well and your body is ready, because nature already gave you the system. You just gotta train it. Peace.